I'm now back out of the engine room. I'm standing by the chart table looking aft towards the aft cabin. See the engine room doors there on your right and the workbench on your left. And this is just one of the nicest features of this boat. It just having a workbench. You see workbenches on some boats, but you know they're in the forepeak or something. Having the workbench, it right next to the engine room, just concentrates all of the maintenance area in one place. So, you know, when you're living aboard and you need to tear something apart, you're not living with it. You can just, you know, at the end of the day, you can throw it up on the workbench, close the doors to the engine room, and say, okay, I'll carry on with that tomorrow. And you're not tracking backwards and forwards through the accommodation. So, yeah, you have to come through the work area to get to the aft cabin, but you don't use that much during the day anyway. So this is a good-sized workbench. There's room for plenty of tools. There's the absolutely required vise. Trying to fix things without a vise is just such a nightmare. And then we have the tools here. That's a toolbox. That's socket wrenches. Those are well retained. But if we ever got in really heavy weather where we got concerned about stuff flying around here, this is a storm cover that unrolls and lashes down here, so it means nothing's going to fly out from here. It's a portable tool bag. We also have another one here that we can take tools on deck in. It's just stuffed under there. These are nice. When we're working on the boat, we roll out these canvas covers over the T-Collie cabin sole. We have one for the workbench area and one for the bottom of the companionway, so we don't scar things up. You know, if you drop a tool, it doesn't ding things up. They clip down with clips, with poppers, so that's nice. And then there's all kinds of little parts, things here. There's a nice detail. These are deck parts here. You know, split pins, that sort of thing. And then down here, behind here, is more engine, hydraulic parts, that kind of thing. And then, of course, we have a complete set of parts for them. You could pretty near rebuild the main engine with the parts we have, but that's all under the big double berth in the aft cabin. Lots of tools. You know, meter. This is for checking that the zincs are working properly. Meter. This is a propane sniffer. Haven't used it in years, but we had problems with the stove when we originally bought it, and so my theory is if I need a tool once, borrow it. If I need a tool twice, buy it, and that's certainly true on the boat here. And there's a lot of gloves ready to go here. The ubiquitous duct tape, and what do we got here? There's wrenches that fit every wrenches, big one and a small one, hole saws. There's a dial indicator back here. This is a set of calipers here. All kinds of things like Loctite and stuff like that. All of this goes with the boat. I've spent years making sure that every tool that you need for everything on the boat is here, and so it just doesn't make any sense for me to take all that and leave somebody else to figure it all out. So it all goes. I mean, for example, you need a set of Torx to set the valve lash on the main engine. So if you don't have a set of Torx, it's easy to do, but if you don't have a set of Torx, it doesn't get done. And a little fastener. Another one of these are Rubbermaid, I think, and it's just you need an odd screw. They're always there, bolt, whatever. And, I'll pause and take all this stuff out of here and show you the battery box. Just before I open up the battery box top, I just thought I'd show you how much room there is on the workbench once the toolkits are removed. And if I've got a big project, I'll take them off. You know, if we're not living on the boat, I'll take the toolkits off and put them on a berth forward or something like that. And then I've got all this room to work, which is great. And now I've got the top off the battery box, and this is the main house bank. It's 4 Lifeline 6-volt batteries in 2 banks of 2, You saw the 1-2 both switch in the engine room, and it totals 800 ampere hours. And I just thought I'd show you a few details. I redid this whole battery box some years ago. I wasn't comfortable that the battery box that was in there was in fact strong enough to take a really bad hit. For example, if the boat was knocked down. So I re-engineered this whole one, and as close as I can get it, this will withstand at least 2 Gs, probably more than that. You can see how massive things are. The box itself is fiberglass, but it's not holding the batteries in. What's holding the batteries in is these aluminum angle irons that are angle here and here, and that's tied all the way into hull members and bolted. And there's a couple of spare fuses there, just so they're close to hand, so you can always find them. And never had to use them, but it's all, it's all fused ABYC spec. You can see that's the fuse for one bank, the fuse for the other bank. Temperature sensors, both for the battery chargers and the alternator. And there's 2 more. There's battery chargers up here. So those are the ones that charge these 2, plus the one in the engine room. So you can put 120 amps in from the generator. And we'll just, these straps are overkill. They go right around the box and the supporting members, and they're, I don't know, something like 8,000 pound brake load. And you can see that the batteries are shimmed with G10 in between, so they cannot move at all. I think ABYC spec allows them to move half an inch or something, but I can't see that. Once something starts moving, it's going to keep moving. That's the shunts for the 2 Victron battery monitors. I've now opened up the front of the battery box, and you can see just how massively these are retained. These are square hollow aluminum sections, 2-inch by 2-inch sections, and all that. So that forms a grid around the batteries, and then that's tied into the hull members. So that's what's supporting these lashings that go right around the battery and right around the bottom members all the way around, and they're chafe protected there. And there's a nice little detail. There's a little tuck here for all those little odds and ends things that you want close to the engine room, lubricants, that sort of thing. Next to that, there's a little switch panel right next to the battery box, which has the battery direct things that need to be fused or have breakers. There's a spare there, and actually these fuses are no longer used, so there's a couple of spares there as well.